Hey, gun people. I want to do some follow-up on, there was some questions and some confusion that I had because I thought this video was done after they charged him. Evidently, this interview was done before they charged him. So this interview was on June 2nd, I believe.
20 to time like that, that's fine. So today's date is June 2nd, 2020.
Okay, so June 2nd is the date of this interview. According to Wikipedia, May 24th is when George Floyd died. They fired all the officers the next day, I believe. Somewhere in here, let's see. All 4 officers were fired. Okay, it doesn't say the next. The following day, after videos made by witnesses, security cameras became public, all 4 officers were fired. So they were fired on the 26th, and on June 2nd is when that interview took place. So that was before they charged them, because they didn't charge them. Let's see here. Plea agreement. On the 29th, on May 29th, before the interview, they charged him. 3 other officers were charged with aiding and abetting in 2nd degree. Lane was released on bail. Okay, so they charged him on May. So this was after he was charged. I mean, it's just crazy that they let him give this interview. He's charged with 2nd degree manslaughter, 3rd degree murder. I thought it was aiding and abetting somewhere. I thought I saw. But anyway, I mean, to me, it's just amazing that his attorney would allow this interview. You've got a client charged with murder, and you're letting him give. Now, at the beginning of this interview, he signs a thing as soon as he walks in.
I mean, I'm probably going to go in to see her, so I don't want to kill her with COVID.
This is the lead investigator with the BCA. This guy's FBI. If you watch the videos, you already know this.
Got a couple waters for you guys if you need.
All right.
Everybody's sitting here.
Where'd you want everybody?
Officer, Mr. Top could sit here. That'd be great. Bob, wherever you're comfortable with.
I'm probably going to leave my mask on. I told James this. My mom is in hospice, and I got a call today from her 24th year. She's probably dying right now.
My mom's in hospice, and she's probably dying right now. I mean, for your attorney to be in this situation, this interview should have been postponed or changed. I mean, his attorney could have went, look, we want to do the interview, but I can't accurately represent my client right now. My mom's dying in hospice. We need, for the sake of my client, we need to reschedule this. But that didn't happen. Another thing that happened in this video at the beginning.
How are you?
Hey, I'm Blake Austin. I can get you my card.
After they do all the card swapping.
I've got.
Sure, I'll take
That's the one whatever.
then sign it.
But two, why don't you read it over?
And then sign it.
Okay, so they make him read and sign this document. My guess is this document says you're charged with a crime, you're a suspect in a crime, you're voluntarily here, you've been advised of your rights, you have counsel present, and you and your counsel are here voluntarily for this interview. I'm assuming the letter says something in effect. That way it's going to negate later for them to say this statement was coerced, he didn't know his rights, he didn't have adequate representation, he didn't request a lawyer. That's going to negate. So I'm assuming that's the letter they had him file. Now, there was a lot of confusion in the comments about whether or not cops were ordered to give interviews. Cops ordered to give interviews on internal investigations, not criminal. This is a criminal investigation interview. This is not internal. This is not whether or not he's going to lose his job. He's already been fired. So this is not an internal investigation. You can't be ordered to give information against yourself in a criminal proceeding. If you're ordered to do it, that becomes a coerced statement. Sometimes they would order statements knowing that it couldn't be used against you, and then when you give it, they would say you can't use that against them. That was coerced. And then they had to get it in through the back door because they impeach you on a stand because you give different testimony than you did in an earlier testimony, and then they can say you're lying. You were either lying now or you were lying then. But they can't bring it in unless they get contradicting testimony from you. So the difference between cops being ordered to give a statement and not being ordered is ordered statements or coerced, and they're in the internal non-criminal. It's just about your employment. And when they give you an order to give a statement, they say if you don't give a statement, we can fire you. You're required to give a statement so we can do the internal to determine whether or not we're going to fire you. So that's why this statement was not ordered. Plus, he's had an attorney and you've got 3 cops there. That's not how internals go. You don't have FBI doing an internal investigation on you. If you do, you probably shouldn't be talking. The FBI joined the investigation almost immediately, so they're going to be looking that if the state fails to convict these guys, the FBI is running a case to where they can circumvent double jeopardy and say, oh, well, the state got 1 bite at the apple. The FBI, the feds, are going to get a 2nd bite at the apple, and we're going to charge you with civil rights violation. Therefore, it's not double jeopardy. So that's what happened to the guys in L.A. When L.A. found the cops not guilty of Rodney King, they went after him for civil rights violations. You'll notice that black people, I think in the history of civil rights, have never been charged with a civil rights crime. Another crime for only white people. Hate crimes, only white people or non-black people. And civil rights violations, only white people and non-black people. So that's where I have a huge problem with laws that don't apply equally, and I think it's BS and it's wrong. And when you target somebody because of their color, i.e. if you're targeting everybody that's not black, you're targeting them because of their color. So, but that's another issue. I wanted to clear up the difference between a coerced statement, an ordered statement, and a non-ordered statement. Why this attorney would let his client give a voluntary statement, a lot of people are asking, why would he do that? Is he incompetent? My guess is he's talked to the prosecutor and said, look, my guy's not culpable, okay? My guy can help you. My guy can be a state's witness, but he can't help you if you're going to try and charge him. And the prosecutor went, I'll tell you what, we'll let him give a statement. If he gives us a voluntary statement so we can figure out what his culpability is, then I'll be willing to talk deal. But if he don't give me a statement, he stays charged with 2nd degree, no deal. So that was a way for prosecutors to coerce a lawyer. Remember, this lawyer is worried about this guy. He wants the best deal for this guy. So if he can get him to turn on the other guys, he doesn't care about the other guys. The other guys' lawyers worry about their guy. So defense attorneys are cutthroat, even not only with prosecution, they're cutthroat with other defense attorneys because they got to worry about their guy first. Now, prosecutors may be buddies and they may cut side deals and they go, hey, man, I can do this. My guy won't hurt you that bad, or you can do this. Or if my guy agrees not to talk, your guy can't say this about him, and he can't take the stand and sell my guy out. Otherwise, my guy's going to go. So defense attorneys can talk to other defense attorneys, no problem. Prosecution really can't get in these guys, legal strategies on how they're going to fight this. So that's why this guy gave this statement. I'm assuming, I think it was a bad move. I think this attorney was not paying attention. I think this client said a lot of things that his attorney could have stopped or cleaned up and made better, and he didn't. So this statement, I think, is going to hurt this guy. But will it really hurt him or will it really help him? Because when the government comes after him harder with a bigger hammer, guess what they're going to do? They're going to try and flip him. Look, you lied in your statement. We know you lied in your statement because you said this and it's this. Either you didn't lie or you contradicted yourself, which we're going to pass off as a jury's a lie. And once they figure out you're a liar, they're going to convict you of 2nd degree murder. And you just made our case stronger. And unless you want to go to jail for 15 to life, you better tell us what we want to hear. You better testify for us. And then they'll make him say what they want to say. They'll use him as a friendly witness, as a trained police officer, etc., and they'll cut him a deal. But they can make him say more what they want him to say if he's facing more time. If he's only facing a year, then it may not be, they can't control him as much, saying, we're going to send you to jail for a year. You know what? I'm not going to get up there and bullshit for you just for a year. I'll do the year because I'll probably only do 6 months, good time, etc. So that's how this is going to play out. Again, if you watched the series, and a lot of you did, a lot of you gave me good comments, I appreciate it. I enjoy doing this. So if it helps somebody, I think the legal system is such a secrecy, such a insider clique that if you're not on the inside, you're on the outside. And I think all the pesky citizens are on the outside. They don't get it. They don't understand how lawyers bill, how they get their money, how they prolong things, how the courts are made to promote lawyers and to keep lawyers in business and to keep the courts in business. And they just don't understand all that. And they don't understand how they'll be sold out by their attorney, by the defense, by the jury, by anybody. So they don't get it. Our system is based on confrontation. And if you don't go into our judicial system with a fight mindset, you are going to get eaten up. Our system gives absolutely zero credit for good behavior. If you tell the truth, you get zero credit. You only make it easier for the prosecution to get a prosecution and cut you a less better deal because they have a confession, because you talked, and now they can use that against you, and you made their case stronger, and they're more likely to get a conviction. Therefore, they don't have to plea bargain very well. When you keep your mouth shut and they have to depend only on their case, it makes them have a very, very strong case, or it makes them want to deal because they don't know if they can win. But when you talk, look, I'm telling you, man, I worked with attorneys for years in the DA's office, and every attorney I've ever talked to said if people did not talk, our conviction rate would go down to probably less than 20%. It's the people that talk that give government the edge and ability to use against you. I can't stress enough, shut the hell up Friday, whatever that video is that I put out. I made a copy of and talked about it and said it was good advice. Don't talk to cops. I have the video on my thing. There's an attorney that explains how he can twist the truth. There's just video after video. Every lawyer worth his salt will tell you, take the fifth, which means keep your mouth shut, which means you don't have to talk to the government, so don't talk to them. Take the fifth. Do not give a statement. I don't know how else to say it. Talking and acting nice and thinking you have nothing to hide and thinking you can only help yourself by cooperating with government will only get you more time and make the government's prosecution easier. All right, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. A lot of people wanted to ask, I want to see the interviews of the other officers. My guess is the other officers did not give an interview. See, this guy thought this was going to be an interview to help out, and then somebody released it. I don't know who. My guess is the prosecution. Somebody released this interview. So this guy is out here now. Now all the other cops know, all the defense attorney knows, all the media knows, all the public knows what this guy said and what his interview went. So a lot of you are asking, I want to see the interviews of the other officers. My guess is the other officers had attorneys that went, ain't no damn way I'm letting my client give a voluntary interview that can be used against him. If they want to hear him talk, they'll have to guess whether or not I'm going to put him on a stand. Otherwise, government, make your case. Convict my guys with the evidence you got. I'm not helping you. I'm not allowing my client to talk to you. That's probably why we didn't see the other guys talking. All right, we'll end that there.